Good morning, professional photographers of Idaho and beyond. I'm Bob Ryder.
I'm Larry Fry. Good morning.
Yeah, we've got a Friday morning.
It's awesome.
It's been a while
it's been a
since
couple of
we've
months,
been here. Yeah. We've got some really fun stuff planned for our episode today. Of course, our title is window dressing, which I'll throw on the screen here in a little bit. But we've got a couple of things we want to talk about before we get to that.
We always have things to talk about.
Yeah,
always.
We've been talking for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Probably
we've already done the show. It's already done.
We already talked about it. I'm going to jump over to the social side, and I'm just going to say, if you're here, I'd love to have you comment that you're here and what you're occupying your time with today, and maybe a little bit about what your weekend's going to look like, because it's Friday.
Yeah, stop in, say hi to us on via chat if you would.
And that I haven't tested, so we'll just have to
let's see if it works.
See if it works. Let me know through the chat if the chat's working. Yeah, something like that, just like that, right? Pretty fun stuff in the offering coming up this month. And actually, I'm just going to start here. I'm going to come in tighter. We're going to move over this camera. So listen, we are excited about this new year because we're introducing some new things for our members and for the photo community here in the Treasure Valley as well. And I say Treasure Valley, but you're welcome to come if you're not here, right? Right. I'd love to have some of our Twin Falls people, Treasure Falls. Wow.
Yeah.
Twin Falls people. I know TJ came all the way in for our banquets were fantastic.
Yeah, let's talk about that for just a second.
Let's talk about the banquets.
Yeah, so we last year we kind of started this thing off. We the board drove to Pocatello for one night at Jakers. Well, we can say the name, right?
Yeah, Jakers. Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, at Jakers and Pocatello. Then the next night we have the one for the Western Idaho side at Jakers and Meridian. And once again, go over to Pocatello. Had a great time, a great meal. The Jakers over there, their cook was on point, I thought. More importantly, to see all the people that were over there, a guy that I have seen his name bantered about, never met the gentleman, Lou.
Lou.
Yeah. past president, awesome guy. If you don't know him, I would suggest that you do get to know him because a lot of experience there. And
he was so genuinely nice.
Yeah, and we just had a fun time. So, and then we drove back that night, did it again the next night in Meridian, and a great crowd showed up again. Eastern Idaho was a great crowd. Western Idaho was a great crowd. I don't know what else we could do, so.
Now, I bet Amy Peterson would like to have us up
Well,
north.
yeah, Amy said that on Facebook. Amy, if you're listening, you said that on Facebook, and we wish you were closer too, or we wish you had at least pathway down here that didn't take you 7 hours to get here. So, and Amy, hey, maybe we can build out a little following up there and come up and see you guys. So.
That'd be good. But we had a good
time.
Banquets are really good.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think the most valuable thing to me is that we get to bring our people together. And there's people I talk to regularly through text message or social media, but to shake hands or to have a hug and just spend time in conversation, that was just genuinely wonderful.
Yeah, nice to see on this side. It's nice to see Bob Quick and Katrina came over from Burley. So. Awesome. I mean, I couldn't have been.
Katrina came up and spent most of the afternoon with us here.
Right.
And then we went over to the dinner.
She had other things too. She has a granddaughter over here, I guess, and something like that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We were happy to see
her. No, she spent the afternoon here.
Yeah, but she also has a granddaughter over here. But anyway, it was great to see all those people, and especially some of those guys that I just told you about. Phil White was there.
I missed Michelle didn't come this year.
Yeah,
so I kind of missed that.
I thought I didn't ask the reason why, but Michelle,
I think
we missed
she's
you.
just busy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Good
anyway,
stuff.
Good stuff.
And some of that conversation from Saturday night. Not Saturday night. Wow, we did it on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah.
Some of that conversation Wednesday night centered a lot around what we're going to talk about today.
I did.
Yeah,
I
I spent a lot of time talking about image competition, talking about the degrees, and talking about Imaging USA. If you're going to join us in Nashville at Imaging in 2 weeks, give us a shout out here and let us know you're going to be there. I know there's a thread on our social media. LaQuita says, "Good morning, guys," and she missed us at the banquet. We missed you at the banquet. I texted you the other day and just said that you were missed, and it was because people were like, "Hey, where's LaQuita?" But
and thank you, LaQuita. We know the chat works.
There's other people watching. You're just not participating.
Right. So go back to the image competition. We talked a lot about convention and stuff. Yeah, we're going to mention that several times about our convention, the dates, et cetera, et cetera. But I would say this, that it's probably the single most important event that we have, obviously, in the state to bring our members in. We live in such a geographically diverse state that travel isn't always an option for everyone, and we certainly aren't trying to exclude anybody. We just hope that everybody can make it, right? And it doesn't seem to matter. I mean, I've been involved with PPI for long enough. I've been to conventions on the other side of the state. I've been to conventions on this side of the state.
Well, and it doesn't. I just learned of a new convention facility in Idaho Falls.
Oh, cool.
Called the Brickyard.
I don't doubt it. There's a lot of construction going on.
Brand new, and I'll be there next month with a group doing some work. So maybe I'll do a little scouting.
Yeah.
That would be really cool to take this out that way.
And my point on that was it doesn't seem to matter where we have it. Photographers in the state seem to gravitate toward our convention.
Well, like you said, it's probably the single most important event that we do. It's an opportunity to be together as a large group.
Right.
And it's the time that we bring instructors and judges from all over the world, all over the country together. Our judges this year are going to be, well, Phil and I spent time talking about it. We're doing image competition a couple of weeks prior to convention.
Yeah. Because
it's virtual now. So we'll have that information as that comes along. But I'll put the slide.
So that does a couple of things. So the people who put on the image competition, it takes them a while, right? And there's a lot of processes they have to follow. There's a lot of they have to get the judges all together. There's a ton.
And there's a twist this year.
Yeah,
because AI has hit the fan this year.
Right. But there's a lot of and even AI in Photoshop, by the way. So, I mean, AI, if you think AI is just out there all by itself and you just do an image with AI, you're wrong. If you do content aware, for example, that's AI, folks. You just don't know it. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm trying to say.
My point, though, is that it affects the rules.
Oh, absolutely.
And how images are
There's
judged.
a lot to putting that on, is what I'm trying to say. And we want those folks to enjoy our convention.
Yeah.
So to move that ahead a couple of weeks, which makes total sense, because now those people that were involved with our image competition can now be free to move about the cabin, as they say, and enjoy convention with us.
Yep.
So that's the point.
Good stuff.
Yep.
So let's talk about what we're doing this month in terms of fun opportunities for people. So along with the fact that we did our banquets, and along with the convention and the fall retreats that we normally do, we're getting back. So I know PPI years ago did, I think they called them quarterlies. We're introducing fun shoots every month. We have most of our months at least framed out. Some of them require details that aren't yet available. The rodeo doesn't. We don't have dates for the rodeo yet, but we've got opportunities this year to shoot the Sunflower and Lavender Farm. We've got an opportunity to shoot an animal sanctuary. We've got an opportunity with the Boise Hawks, that's the baseball team in Boise, to basically have media access for a game out there. And
rodeo.
Yeah, the rodeo we're planned for later this year, and just some other great stuff. In February, we're planning to get together. We haven't figured out a location yet, but we're planning to get together and play with LED lights.
Yeah, which is going to be kind of fun. So any type of LED light. It could
Anytime.
Could be a wand. It could be those ropes things that you wind around. It could be any type.
Yep, just an opportunity to play.
And it's not. This isn't flash photography at all. So you don't have to worry about syncs and camera receivers
it's
and
just
transmitters.
constant light,
it's
right?
just constant
So,
light. Yeah.
but it's a great time to get creative and play with that stuff, and maybe incorporate that into your workflow.
You know, oh yeah, absolutely, because you know it's getting. They've got the battery thing kind of figured out,
Which I love.
Yeah, it might not be the best solution for the planet at this point in time, but they're working on it. And you got a whole spectrum of color there to work with. You've got variable lighting. You have brightness lighting. You know, variable that way.
Variable color.
It's like
that's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
So that's next month. That's February, and what we've got coming up for you this month is our Winterscape Fun Shoot. I started this concept. I was talking to Laquita. Laquita is doing a great job putting our putting some shoots together for us. And this started with the concept of naked trees, you know, shooting those trees that you see in wintertime. And her initial reaction was pretty funny. It was, ooh, why would you want to shoot that? And then we started talking about all of the neat things that you can do around trees that don't have their leaves on them, and how you can take it to the what's going to bloom, or you can take it to the end of life. It's just so much you can do symbology-wise there. And then, of course, Kleiner Park is a beautiful, beautiful park here on the edge of Boise, eastern side of Meridian. And there's sculptures, there are ponds, there are trees, there are wildlife. You're right next to the village. And that by itself is a spectacle. There's so much to see and do over there. So January 28th, it's a Saturday afternoon. We're going to arrive maybe about 4:30. I think we're going to meet right around that sculpture area at the south end of Kleiner Park, and just have fun photographing stuff out there in the environment. I don't know if we'll have snow. I don't know if we'll have rain.
But we'll have cameras.
But we'll have, and we'll have fun, right?
We'll have fun.
So and there's no charge for this. Just come out and play with us. This is really...
Yeah, there's no registration for this. There's no real... although I guess we will have it on the website, but I guess we could...
just to know who's coming.
Yeah. But it's just to be fun. It's
I
just
guess
have
I should
fun.
talk about our photo walk that we did last month. That was so much fun. We had 8 of us in downtown Boise for a photo walk. We met early on a Saturday morning, before the city really woke up. We were out walking the streets of Boise with our cameras as the shop owners were starting to set up, and it was really just, actually it was a Sunday. It was beautiful. We had intended to get inside the Capitol, and they're closed on Sundays. I didn't know that.
Of course.
But it was just a good time, and we met some new folks. In fact, one of the shoots that we've got planned, I think it's March. I could be wrong, but I think it's March. Maybe, Q, you could help me out here. If you know when we're going to be at Jovino's, which is a coffee and wine bar. They serve food. They're going to plate some food for us, prepare some drinks for us to photograph and enjoy. And Christina is the general manager there, and she was on our photo walk. And she's going to host us, and she's a photographer too. So this is just a really cool opportunity to do something neat. But anyway.
And it's fun. It's not intended to be, oh, I can't go because I'm not good enough. It's not intended to
come
be.
and get good enough.
Yeah, come get good.
Come and get gooder.
You know what? Bring one of these. If you don't,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. We don't care.
Come and get gooder.
Yeah, come and get gooder.
Come and get gooder.
That's going to be our new logo. Come and get gooder.
That is a Mike-ism.
That's a Mike-ism.
That
That's
is a
true
Mike-ism.
story. Yeah.
All right, so let me run back here to our rundown. And are we ready? It's about quarter after.
Yeah,
This
I
is
think
about
so.
on par. This is the topic. I'm going to bring this in. This is a topic that you brought to me, and I'm going to have you introduce it.
Yeah, so me included in this. So when I'm talking about this stuff, I want you guys to. I mean, it was in my brain the whole time, also because I've known notable photographers. They make apparently a pretty good living, and none of them have either degrees or certifications from any organization at all. I've also know notable photographers that insist on having degrees and certifications to do what they do. And I was actually I was leaving your shop one day, and Bob's CPP, and he has his CPP hanging up on the wall, which is awesome. He's got a display.
I framed it. It's beautiful.
Yeah. He has his office set up. There's some headshots. He says headshot photographers. This makes total sense. Some samples of his headshots, and he's got his thing framed. And I thought, you know what, that lends credibility to this wall.
That's really what it does.
And so it's kind of like, and I just instantly thought it's window dressing. You just like the mannequins in our title slide.
Yeah.
When you're walking past a department store,
I'm going to bring it back up because I really like this
yeah.
slide.
When you're walking past a department store, you're looking at, that's what, like for years, I mean, I'm old enough to remember that they actually had people that went out and did the windows. Like, yeah, that's a big deal, especially in bigger cities like New York and San Francisco and LA. So it's huge back there. If you don't have the goods out, kind of like a bridal event, a bridal show. I didn't book squat at bridal shows, but I didn't care because it was window dressing to the future. It's what I called it. A lot of people take your cards. A lot of people get your info. A lot of people want this and that and the other thing. And of course, you have your marketing stuff all set up there so you can get their email address and address, whatever. But the single most important thing on that thing is it's all window dressing, because that's what.
How do you draw
people in?
Yep.
So back to Bob's studio, he's got a nice frame on his CPP, and
you passed that on your way out.
I did. Yeah, well,
right?
Yeah. I mean, I can see it from here. And he mentioned that when he gets his Craftsman, which that's out in the open, right?
It is.
Okay,
Yeah, it's public.
So when he gets his Craftsman here in a couple of weeks, that's going to go in another frame, right? Along with this whole thing. So, I ask a couple of my photographer buddies, that some that have them, some that don't. Like, why'd you do it?
That's a great question.
Yeah, like, what drove you to folks? It's not hard to get these, but it's not easy either. It's work. Okay,
that's really what that's a great way to put it.
It's not, you don't just like apply and pay some money and they send you.
It's not the Better Business Bureau.
No.
Not that I'm bagging on the Better Business Bureau, but you can pay to be a member and have a great rating.
And you can pay, and there's all kinds of that you can do. You can pay to be in the top 20.
You can pay to get trophies and certificates. You can do all of that. This isn't a membership.
No, and it's not that at all. And the answers varied, but it all came back down to window dressing. So it validates what you do, and validates to consumers, I should say, what you do. Validates to me what Bob's done.
You know what? I think if I were to really take a hard look at it, first of all, pursuing my degree has given me an objective.
That's a good one.
Beyond just wanting to learn and be the best at what I do for myself, I want to have a trajectory. It's important to me. Some people don't need that. I desire it. I also desire to be with people who have pursued things with passion. And then if we're really direct, my pricing's probably higher than most for what I do because we do this exclusively, right? That doesn't, I never would tell my client that, but one of the things that helps me justify my prices is the education that I've received, and it's demonstrable.
Right.
That window dressing it demonstrates that, right?
So one of the things that we talked about on this show, kind of ad nauseum, literally, there's two things. Pricing is one, but the second thing that go along with that, and I've been a proponent of this since, well, we met, is get out there and use your camera.
Yeah.
Right? Because,
shoot.
And
That's
all
definitely been one of your mantras.
all the
is
time.
just shoot.
And it doesn't matter what you shoot. I don't care if you shoot naked trees. I don't care if you shoot
I'm gonna.
fully clothed people.
I do that too.
I don't care if you shoot snow.
I never mix those.
No. Well, you don't try. It doesn't matter. So I work a lot with models, and Bob's come at me a couple of times and like, well, when you do that, I'll never use it. Well, I won't either. That's not the point. The point is,
I've never asked why you do it. I totally get why you do it.
but
It's
yeah,
just-
I think your deal is you personally
Yeah.
will never use it. And to be quite honest, on a lot of that stuff, I'll never use it either. However, the knowledge you gain from shooting that is priceless, because when you go to a situation, you'll go back, whatever, 3 years ago. Oh yeah, I remember this. Because because either your shots came out crappy or they came out great, right?
Yep.
And so if they came out crappy, you're going, I wish I would have done this. So now you have a chance to do that. If they came out great, you go, well, I can now embellish that and go on and move on with it. So to me, I'll make a statement here. It might not be the most popular statement in the world with the PPA world, but a merit print is not the same. Be careful what I say here.
Yes,
A merit print does not relate to green merits, and by green merits I mean money.
Well,
So if you are shooting for a client, your technicality on that shoot might be perfect, but you won't merit in the judge's eyes. And and the reason for that is there's more, because they're talking about the 12 elements
The storytelling.
of photography.
Yep.
And not just that particular image. So I'm not saying that you can just go take a shot.
There's some people that are going to come at you.
Yeah, I know, but that's okay.
Maybe that's how we're going to get them to participate in the chat.
So anyway, it's not the same. If you're shooting for merits, you have to keep everything in mind. Now, what does that do for you? And so we'll go back to this window dressing, the paper on the wall.
Okay.
So what that does for you is it makes you learn your camera, makes you learn what you're trying to convey to the person that you're looking at or taking a picture of. And does that necessarily mean that they need a merit print for what you're doing in the wedding industry? No, that doesn't mean that, right? Does it mean that for a headshot? Probably not. But what it does mean is that you're technically proficient to do whatever the client wants you to do. And so that means that Mr. Ryder here can charge more money. Why? Because he has the technical proficiency to look at an image from clear across the United States and go, oh yeah, I can recreate that, right? Because we know the lighting, or you do. You know the lighting, you know the settings, you know everything that there is to, well, not everything, but pretty darn close to everything the way they shot that original one. And that's the difference. That's why that window dressing is so important. It's not necessarily that you want to put alphabet soup behind your name. It's because you've been through those scenarios with judges that are looking for an expanded set of skills on the image. So that's my take. I'll probably get in trouble for that, but here's the deal. I shoot for green merits almost all the time because I want to live too, and I'm pursuing a degree. There you go. So the people that have shot that before, like my photographer buddies, I went out and said, hey, how come you did that? They're all going, yeah, that's a good question. That's the research I did, and that's what it kind of boils down to.
Okay.
So,
all right. So let's take this. Laquita, you said the chat has a delay today, and I'm following you over here. I might have turned something on that caused the delay in the chat, just to give me time to react to things that
we don't want on the air.
Yeah, that I don't want on the air. So that's what that is. But in any case, coming back to this, so let's define a little bit about the window dressing. And I have a slide that can kind of help with this.
Yeah.
So let's push that in here. This is just a screen capture of PPA's website. Now, if you're new to this organization, we are Professional Photographers of Idaho. We are your state affiliate for Professional Photographers of America. There's a lot of words coming out, right? So we are your state affiliate to PPA, and I recognize as we lean into this, I'm going to come back here for a minute, I recognize as we lean into this that other organizations have certification and degree programs as well. I'm not discounting those, but that's not part of our organization's trajectory.
Correct.
Okay.
And to pile on that, and we'll get to this in a minute, but to pile on that, the state, us, PPI, also have degrees and objectives. So we'll do that in a bit, but because I think we need to go back to the PPA.
All right, so let's come back to this slide. I'm going to just mix it in here. There's degrees, there's certifications. I have, like Larry mentioned, I've attained my Certified Professional Photographer, the CPP, in PPA, not to be confused with the PP. I don't write. It's letter soup, right? But I've also pursued a degree, and I have the next screen for this too. So just know that through PPA's website, you can take a look. I think I went up to the credentials tab at the top right up there, and you can see this. And this is where all the information is for how you go about attaining them and what's required to do that.
So just real quick, the CPP is basically, it's a test.
It's a technical proficiency.
Right, and then there's a technical proficiency on an image, but it's not an image that you go out and just randomly take. Yeah. They tell you what to
it's a set
take.
It's a set of images, and they are instructed. They're not looking for creativity. They want to know that you can technically create something when given an assignment.
Instructions and basically to follow those instructions.
Yeah.
So yeah, when they do that, the technical written part is all about lighting patterns and basically stuff on your camera, like how does the dials work? Do you put it on P for program
it's literally
or professional?
They test you starting from the sensor. You've got to describe the sensor. You're going to describe different program modes. You're going to describe, in loose terms, how aperture might affect a picture. They might ask you a question as simple as, if you want everything from near to far in focus, would you use this aperture, this aperture, this aperture, this aperture?
Right.
And you're going to pick one that's appropriate, right?
So you need to know the ratios, basically f-stop, the triangle, ISO ratio. What is it ISO anymore? What's it called?
ISO.
ISO, yeah, it's ISO.
You're thinking ASA.
I'm thinking ASA.
That's because we're dinosaurs.
I know it.
Yeah.
So ISO, f-stop, shutter speed. If you need to have that, forward back. None of that. All that stuff is neither here nor there. Just be aware that the CPP is a technical proficiency certificate that you do have to renew every, a year or so, or 2 years. What is it? You have one.
With the CPP?
Yeah.
You have to continue your what they call CEs, your continuing education merits, and I think we renew every 3 years. And actually, I have that slide. But Jennifer, I'm going to put this up. This goes back to what you're talking about. She says, I feel like most PPA merits would translate to green merits and would increase those, but not all green merits are worthy of PPA merits, and that's okay. And that's actually very, very true. I just had this conversation with Phil and Bob Quick and a whole group of people at the far end of the table we were at on Wednesday night here at the restaurant. And I'm in the commercial space. Very little that I do is going to have that storytelling
Right.
aspect of it.
And we went over that too, about the storytelling, because product photography is the same thing.
It really is.
There's no story. I mean, listen, if you're shooting
This
a wine
is the
bottle,
product. It's pretty much
what are you
just
going to
boom
shoot?
right
The wine
there.
bottle, the empty wine bottle, and the guy passed out. I mean, I guess that's a story, right?
Oh, jeez.
But what I was saying earlier is it's the technical aspect of that. So if you're doing product photography, now the judges are going to look at, they're going to try and do a story thing, and it has to all do with the title of the picture, but they're going to look at every single aspect of that, because it's basically a still life, and you have control of everything and plenty of time. You're not worried about if the people are smiling. You're not worried about catch light in the eyes, like on an instant, like a wedding photographer would be poof, and oh, I caught that one or I didn't, right?
Right.
If you're shooting,
you either shot the toast or you missed the toast.
Exactly.
You either shot the ring going on the hand or you missed the shot, right?
So on a wine bottle sitting in your garage, unless you drink it, it's going to be the same thing. It'll be there, and you can do whatever you want to for as long as you want to do. So these judges are going to look at every single technical aspect of that picture. Why is that shadow in where that flash is? What, all kinds of crap goes on with that. Bob's in the same world, basically, with the headshot, not necessarily, because we're dealing with humans, right? So they blink, they slouch, they don't tuck their neck out or put their neck out or whatever.
I would say the most complicated thing that happens with a headshot is that you are going to display this person in a very close-up fashion,
right?
And every detail shows,
right?
And that's where the lines are drawn,
right? And even though he's got the person sitting or standing, whatever, and the person is static, all that stuff has to be right? So again, people move, they sneeze, they cough, they blink,
Yep.
hair gets all screwed up, whatever. That's his job to fix all that. So again, the stuff that will create merits will help you with the green merits. I totally get that.
Yeah.
And that was the point of this whole show. That's how come you should pursue these degrees, and how come you should.
Okay, I'm going to pause you right there.
Okay.
Because I want you to repeat that. That's the whole, what you just said. The concept that you can merit a print and merit enough prints to substantiate a degree.
Right.
Is the whole purpose of the window dressing.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So I'm not flashing my degree or my certificates or whatever that is. I'm not flashing those at my clients. I'm not saying that I'm better than. I just let them sort of speak for themselves.
It's really technically window dressing, and by that I mean that in a literal sense. I don't.
It's on my wall.
That does not. Yeah.
If I had a window.
Yeah, you had a window. That does not mean that you can't put I mean, people that get these degrees should be proud of them, because they are a lot of work. And if you want to put the initials, the alphabet soup behind your name, knock yourself out.
I do on LinkedIn. I don't hardly anywhere else.
But that's not the point of the degrees, is so you can get the initials, right?
Yep.
The point of these degrees is so that you can make more money.
That's really what it is.
By getting your.
It is for me. It might not be for everybody else.
Well, it would be for me also, because listen, a lot of us aren't doing this for. We're doing it for fun, guys. Who can tell me what a better job than a photographer is? Literally, seriously. I
Dog walker.
Maybe, because dogs are happy all the time,
I love
right?
dogs, right? Like just dog
Your
walking.
dog's gonna go nuts on them. Anyway, what a great profession. I mean, you're responsible for yourself, right? But you can do this. I mean, I'm looking at retirement, and I'm going to do it after I retire, and why not? I mean, you can do it until you can't carry the camera anymore, probably.
Yep.
And educate other people. I mean,
I love that part of it.
Yeah. So anyway, I just think it's a great profession. I think it's something that if you have that whatever gene, mindset, artist mind, left brain, whatever, what a great profession to be in. So totally agree with you, Jen. Good observation.
Jennifer, this is, I'm going to put this up. I need to turn it on so it goes on the other screen as well. Did you see Jen asked me, did you see the article in PPI magazine? It was all about the value of photographic veterans' headshots to help them transition to civilian life. I thought of you. So, Jen, I didn't see it in the PPI magazine. I don't know why, because I read them cover to cover. But I participate in an organization called Portraits for Patriots, and it is exactly that. We do pro bono headshots for transitioning service members and veterans and their spouses too. So if a spouse of a current military member is looking to gain employment in their new community because they get moved around a lot, we're going to do that. Mostly we've done transitioning service members through this. This is a 501c3 nonprofit out of Colorado. It's a nationwide program, and I can't say enough about it. As a veteran, nothing like that was available to us when I transitioned a lot of years ago. But it's a great way to pour into that. In fact, that's one element. We work with the Idaho Veterans Chamber of Commerce. We actually just picked up a contract with them to photograph their people in their job placement program. There's just a lot of great ways to serve doing what we do, right? I've got friends that photograph dogs in shelters. I've got, I mean, what a great opportunity to highlight those animals, right?
And there's a million organizations out there. If you want to get involved, you can. And what does it cost you?
It's time and talent, right?
It's time and talent. That's
so
it. It's not dollars. So that's for sure. Well, it does cost you dollars, kind of, because that's time you could be with a paying client. But I don't know of anybody that doesn't have a couple hours.
I find it incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, and I don't know of anybody that doesn't have a couple hours in the evening to do that kind of stuff. So, or morning or whatever.
Jen, I'm just going to ask you real quick, what month magazine was that in? Because I'd like to read it. So hopefully I still have that. Or if it's the January one, I haven't received that yet. If it's the one with the bride on the cover.
Jen's got her master's. She probably receives the magazine for it.
She might.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
I'm kidding you, Jen.
So, all right, I want to come back to our rundown here for a minute because
we got to get back to
we were talking CPP, the Certified Professional Photographer.
Right.
That's the certification that is you take a test on technical issues and you create technically correct images following a set of instructions.
And that's the one that has to be renewed. I just want to make that clear. So if you want to continue your CPP, there's several ways to continue. Go to imaging, all that stuff, and then either fees reduced or eliminated. I don't remember, or you pay some money. But at any point in time, you have to renew that every 3 years. I think it's so.
Yep. So I'm going to bring that page up. I have that page here from PPI and PPA. Woo. I'm going to make it big so we can actually see what's on this page.
Whoa.
This is under credentials, by the way, if you are trying to navigate on your computer. This is under the credentials tab. This is the certification process for CPP. First, you declare your candidacy. Then you're going to take your exam. That's a written exam. They're doing those online currently. Formerly, PPA had the CPP Liaison program. Phil White and I were your CPP liaisons to Idaho when they shut that program down. But I expect that we'll see something come back online about that in the future. But in the meantime, you can do all of this. I'm just going to put us in the corner here. You can do all of this online. You can take your examination online, and they're proctored online and all of that. And then after you've passed the test, there are, I think, 4 windows a year to submit your image evaluations. And I'm going to tell you, if you're watching this and you're in Idaho and you're interested in your CPP, if you've declared and you've taken your exam and you're ready to do those images, I have the whole Sherman kit, thanks to Kim Minter, who bought it, used it to get her CPP, and then donated it to Phil and I to use as the liaisons. I still have that, and I bought the exact light modifiers that you need to do that, so you don't have to buy those. I have both the kit and the modifiers required for your image evaluations.
Awesome.
So those and those have come from various sources. I did buy the modifiers just so that we could have the exact correct ones, but that's available to pass around.
So I think it's important to kind of reiterate that this is a technical review, and they want you to follow instructions. That's how come.
To a T.
To a T. That's how come the special modifiers.
The cap of the marker goes in a very specific place. Everything is.
Ask Kim about that one.
Yeah, Sam, I think missed the pen cap or something. But in any case, we have that.
Yeah.
Your PPI members leadership has what you need
to help
materials-wise
you.
to help you get your image evaluation done.
It is going to cost you. I think it's $200 to declare. And then once again, every 3 years, you need to, if you're going to keep it, you need to.
Yeah, you need your CEs, and that's worth looking at. That's a whole nother conversation. But the CEs, if you're naturally pursuing education in photography, you're going to get your CEs.
Yeah.
It's hard to miss them.
Go to imaging.
If you go to imaging annually, you meet your CE requirement and the cost.
Come to our convention, you get some of those.
You get CEs for that. We did classes this past summer, at Sam's studio, where we brought Brian Welsh and Aaron Hockley in, and we did a CE class there as well. So there's opportunities all year long in Idaho and all around Idaho too. Our neighboring states all do that.
And then people like you and me and Michael Collins that every year put on one-day workshops. Same thing. So that's how come the one-day workshops are kind of important for those people that can't get.
Yeah, for $100, you get a whole day's education.
Yeah. Probably lunch
and a CEs too. Yeah. Well, I don't buy your lunch, but I take you to lunch.
Well.
So then let's come on to the next thing, because let me check the social feed here, see who's talking about what.
Nothing.
Oh, it's the January one. I haven't even got that yet.
Way to go, Jen.
Well, no, that's good. I'm looking forward to it. Actually, the January issue of Professional Photographer magazine.
Way to go, Jen, to get the magazine early.
Well, yeah, like you said, she's a master.
I know.
Right?
Roll that slide over.
What was I saying? Poof. Throw that one up.
Yeah,
We're ready for that? Okay, so beyond your certified professional photographer certification, we get into the merited categories, merited degrees. And degrees aren't, like Larry said, they are not technical measures. Actually, Phil did a really good job describing these. So photographic craftsman is earned at the podium. It's for teaching and writing and supporting the industry. The master of photography is earned behind the camera. The master artist is earned at the computer where you're doing your digital artwork. And of course, master of wedding photography
is live wedding. Well, it's not stylized shoots at all.
It's actual wedding day photography.
You have to go out there and shoot some weddings and sweat bullets and, beware of the mother-in-law.
We had a whole conversation about, Carly and my wife and Mike Collins and myself, you were there. We all had a conversation about wedding photography. And it's one of those things that you love to hate, right?
Oh, yeah. I love it. And I hate it.
Right.
Yeah, at the same time. I mean,
I've said this a couple of times. I don't ever talk about weddings in my website, in our portfolio, in our social media, any of that. We never talk about weddings because it's not what I want to be known for. I love photographing weddings. I love that wedding day pressure. I love all of it. I just don't like that marketplace, like you said.
Yeah, it's nasty and vile. I mean, I just gotta say that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, nasty and vile.
It's not the market, So if you set proper expectations, if you shop around for clients, and I'm saying that literally,
that's a really big deal.
Then your day is going to go a lot better, right?
Yeah.
It's when you don't do that. It's when you're trying to start up and you got a couple of pictures on your website and literally you're hungry for. And I got this, man, because I was right there. You're literally hungry for money. And somebody says, "Hey, I'll give you $500 to shoot my wedding." I don't want to, well, I'm using the bad term here, but CDs for prints because CDs are going away, right?
Right.
But I just want the images, and you say yes. That's the worst possible case scenario. Now I get it. $500 is $500.
Except that there's no value proposition.
There's no value
proposition, and they're not going to respect you for that. So they're going to ask for everything.
Yep.
Can you take?
Once you get done with it, now's where the vile part comes in.
I'm going to come back to our slide because I want to talk about this a little bit more.
So we have these degrees, and I think the description that Phil gave is perfect. Well, of course it is. It's Phil. He knows what he's talking about.
You know what? He's just a gem.
Yeah.
Phil White, we love you, man. You're just such a valuable resource to us.
So these are, you don't have to renew these, right?
You've earned these degrees.
Once you've earned these, you have that window dressing to hang on your wall or your window if you want to, forever. That means you've earned some stripes.
You get the golden tube.
Yep.
The golden tube has your certificate. I bought matching frames for my CPP certificate and my photographic craftsman degree that I received in a couple of weeks, and they're going to be on my wall. And it's just it's a statement piece for me.
Right.
That my clients can see. We sit at this table over here. You can't see it. I'll extend us back a little bit. But off to my right-hand side here, we have a meeting area in our studio, and that's where we have framed portraits, people that I have photographed. I have those throughout the studio on a few walls. And with that, because people are looking at those, with those, we have our certifications and our degrees hanging for my clients to visit and see.
And that's the window dressing we're talking about.
That's window dressing. Yep. I don't have to tell them, hey, have you looked at this?
Yeah.
It's just something that they're going to notice walking out. And then what I hope is that when they're talking to their friends, they're going to say, well, I was just at his place, and he didn't say it, but he's got these, and so does your photographer?
When you hit them, let me put it to you this way. When you hit them with the prices, especially the prices that you're at for what you do, Bob's not, I'm going to just say, he's not cheap.
No.
But he's worth what he does. I'm going to say that along with it. But he's not the cheapest in town. Anybody can go out there and do headshots for $50. I mean, I've seen it, and you can see the result. But when you're talking to clients and you're talking about pricing, and they're sitting there looking at you, and like you have a third eye when you mention the prices, when they are looking around the room, I mean, it's a different story when you have a piece of paper to back it up.
Yep.
And it's not signed by you or your mom.
You know what's window
whatever.
dressing? Over here across the room, I wish I had my camera up for you. Over here across the room, I have just some lanyards from different conventions, and the thing sitting on top is a media pass for the Potato Bowl. That's window dressing. It's hanging there for a reason. Mm-hmm. I want people to notice those. They're hanging out here from our past conventions, and, both locally in Idaho and at Imaging USA. But that's window dressing. It's hanging on my wall.
Yeah.
That's just something that I've put out for my clients to see, right?
He strategically has an imaging underneath it.
I'll tell you a fun factoid, and I'm going to share this because I think it's fun. That's not what I wanted. Here we go. I'm going to tell you a fun factoid, and I've heard this over and over the last decade. I first joined PPA to get the window decal for my studio door.
Really?
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
We are a brand new photographer and brand new, I wasn't a brand new photographer, but I'm brand new in my community, opened brand new studio in the community. And what do you do that lends street cred?
Yeah.
They walk by, I'm like, oh, they're a member of a trade association.
Right.
I look for that with the people that I hire. I'm not going to hire an electrician who just comes along, he's like, I'm your neighbor. I played with wires before. No, I'm looking to find that guy.
Got one ear burned off. The hair's all.
But
anyway, to his point,
I hope that wasn't offensive, but you get my point, right? Like,
to Bob's point, if you can, if you're a member of PPA on this same website, you can go download their logo and stick it on your website that you're
which
a member.
I do that as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Jen's got good feedback here. Jen, I love that you're talking with us today. I'm going to make sure that this is on, and I'm going to push this up for everybody to read. She's framed and hung hers as well. It's like sitting in the doctor's office and seeing their framed credentials. It helps build confidence and validation of your prices.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. What Jen just said. We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
See you later.
Let's talk about your badges over here some more now. Okay. Let's go back to the.
You want the slide again?
Yeah.
Okay, coming back at you, but I'm gonna like squish it in. Let's do that.
Yeah. So like the craftsman, we've kind of already covered, and then the masters of photography we've already covered, and then the artist, and that's a computer thing where it's all composites or other artistry. Paint painting is another thing. And then again, the master of wedding photography is in my opinion, that's a tough category because again, they do not like it's actual wedding photography.
It's akin to reportage, right?
Like exactly. Yeah. So these degrees, if you get those, that's the window dressing we're talking about, especially for people that are.
I'm just going to say this again. Let's put Jen back up.
Yeah.
And just
same
say,
thing. Yeah.
The part about building confidence and validating prices is super important to me. And honestly, some people will not care. But
I do want to say though, when you get your PC, I think you should take the CPP and move it to a lower. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay,
They're going to
good.
switch.
See, Bob and I kind of think like sometimes we don't talk about this stuff until we're on the air and bore you people. So
That's okay. I think I have one more slide in our rundown. Oh, so this is our local slide here. That's what I have
let's talk
queued
about
up
this one.
next. Okay, so
we have a convention coming up.
we do have a convention coming up. I'm going to plead with them for a minute.
Sure.
Okay.
Knock yourself out.
So you're professional photographers of Idaho. Let's just assume that you're paying for your membership, which is very affordable at $100 a year.
Oh,
right?
dirt cheap. And you can write that off in your taxes, by the way.
We'll go on about that later. But along with your membership, you have an opportunity to participate in our Idaho Fellow of Photography program. And it looks a lot like this. We have 3 degrees in our program. We have Fellow of Education, Fellow of Photography, and a Fellow of Service. And I love the fact that you can be involved with our organization, help out your fellow members. You're going to learn a ton along the way, and while you are serving your community, elevating our industry, you can earn a degree, right? And then, of course, we have at our convention we have image competition. I find myself having to choose my words very.
Instead of print competition.
It's been print competition
for years.
PPI is moving to merit image review. And but here in Idaho, we're still image competition. Our chairs for our image competition coming up at convention are Phil White and Sherry Barron, and they're working, like I mentioned, I alluded to earlier. They're drafting rules right now and dealing with some of the things that are new in our industry, as well as addressing the changes that PPA has done with their marriage image review. And there's just a lot to it. But you can compete locally with your. I say compete.
Oh, it is a competition.
It is against yourself.
Well,
Like if you merit a print and I merit a print, your merited print doesn't exclude my merited print. We both get to celebrate.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you get 79.
Which is very true.
I'm in that category too.
Yeah.
But I think it's special that we talk about our Idaho Fellow of Photography, and I'm going to implore you that if you're a member of PPI, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you can implore them in a second, because all of this is on our website. So if you're a member of PPI and you log in with your member's credentials, and I forget where it is, I'm sorry, I should have looked at this before I came. Anyway, it's under one of those tabs over there. You'll find how to apply, you'll find the applications, you'll find all of it.
It's under the members tab.
Yeah, okay, members tab, there you go.
It's under the members tab.
So, and now go back to imploring, because
Okay.
I want them to hear your
So I'm going to
spiel.
come in nice and tight for the imploration. Imploration?
I'm good with that, imploration.
Imploration.
Yeah.
Help me out there, folks, on the social feed. How do we implore? Listen, if you have already given me, or any of the other folks that were in charge with the Idaho Fellow of Photography, if you've given me your declaration of participation, tell me what you've done for education in the last 2 years. I want to know. I hear from 1 or 2 people consistently, and myself consistently, but there's no form. Send me an email. Tell me what you did, what class you took, where it was at, who the instructor was, and what the topic was on. And I'm going to see where that needs to plug in. You don't have to worry about it. Let me figure out where your merits need to apply.
Let's rewind that one, because
All right.
Bob just threw you a bone here.
That's a big bone,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So let's review. You don't have to fill out anything, literally. All you have to do, where did you take your class? Who taught it? What was it?
Yeah, what's the topic? Who's the instructor?
Topic.
How long was it? Would be great to know.
Right.
If I have questions, I'm going to ask you.
Right. And he will, or his team will, assemble that information, and we will put that toward your
Idaho Fellow of Photography
degree program.
Yeah.
So,
And I would love nothing more. Let's do this. I haven't used this yet.
let's use it.
There we are, nice and tight.
Oh.
I would like nothing more than to honor you with your Idaho Fellow of Photography degree at convention.
And we know for a fact that we could honor 10, 15 people probably. We know that, okay? But we're not going to do it for you, all of it.
I can't invent the classes if you take them.
Exactly. So if you just send them in, folks, and come to our convention, we would love to have you there and receive your Idaho Fellow there on the convention floor in March, April.
So we're going to step back just a little bit. I'm going to make sure that the right switch is on, and then I'm going to say that for Jennifer. So her first remark, I'm going to put this up. Her first remark is that she has framed and hung hers. It's validation, confidence, right? That's from the client perspective. It's confidence in you and validation of your prices. But she follows that with, and for many of us insecure creatives, which is super common, folks, you're not alone. There's lots of insecure creatives. It just maybe comes with that part of the brain. I don't know. I'm not that guy, but I'm going to put it up again. It can help build our own confidence in charging what we need to make a living.
The single scariest part of anybody that's starting out in photography is raising your prices, because you're going to think, oh my God, I'm raising my prices and nobody's going to pay these.
I'm going to tell you this.
My wife still thinks that nobody's going to pay me for my wedding prices, and they do. So Sam had a brilliant saying a little while ago, and I don't know if he heard it or if he made this up. It doesn't matter. It came out of his mouth. People will have money for what they want to have money to do, or for whatever.
Well, that's absolutely true.
So if they want your services,
as evidenced by everybody toting a $1,200 cell phone in their pocket, or a $300 cell phone, or a $600 cell phone, I'm going to say this, and this is maybe a little bit of a departure.
Well, but, a lot of it. We just went down a rabbit hole.
We always do. That's our nature, right? It's because this is conversational. It's not scripted.
Yeah, it's true.
We don't sit here and run through bullet points and just hit those. This is conversational.
I walked in at 5 minutes still, folks.
You were here at quarter till today, and I was like, I get to spend time with my buddy. But we have grown accustomed in our studio to raising our prices in October. In anticipation of the coming year. And usually it started with, we anticipate raising prices in the coming year, and we're going to figure that out ahead of time. And then I'm like, drop the hammer. It is what it is. And I'm at a place right now, I don't want this to sound boastful at all, because it's not intended to be. I'm at a place right now where my clients don't care.
Yeah, no.
The price is the price. You can't disqualify people. My wife used to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. This is a little tangent, but it's relevant. My wife used to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. She did that for 10 years. And at one of her conventions, and she brought this home to me, okay? At one of her conventions, the gal said, look, I make chocolate chip cookies, and I'm going to give chocolate chip cookies away. So I look at the people sitting in my room, and I think, she's skinny. She doesn't look like she'd eat a chocolate chip cookie. So I'm not going to offer her a chocolate chip cookie, because in my mind, I figured out why she doesn't want a chocolate chip cookie before I even ask her. So I can look at my room and be like, oh, she can't afford me.
Yeah, exactly.
He can't afford me.
Good analogy.
Man, that's a nice watch. That's a beautiful suit. Look at that leather jacket they're wearing. That's my client, that rich dude over there.
Yeah.
Guess what? That rich dude is up to his eyeballs in debt.
Yeah. That's a great analogy. So
we've used this chocolate chip cookie analogy for years with our businesses, and it's so impactful. So Jennifer, your clients like chocolate chip cookies, right? They love your work and they love you, and that's really.
And Jennifer, you don't look like you ate a chocolate chip cookie in your life.
Ever. So. Right? I'm going to come back, so maybe that tickles it a little bit.
That's a great analogy, and that's actually a perfect analogy. You'd be surprised. I mean, so once you've raised your price, this is a real rabbit hole, but I'm going to say one more thing. Once you've raised your prices and you're scared because you think you can't do it, right? The clients you do get will surprise you. So I'm going to just say that it just absolutely blows you away when you've done it for a while. That, wow, I mean, I raised my prices and this guy wants me, and not this guy like they're the richest people in the room, but this guy that appears to have nothing is going to to top-notch whatever. So
All right, so I wasn't just playing on my phone. I was trying to connect to my broadcast system here, my Miracast. Oh, it's not necessarily showing that.
it's not mirroring.
Let's see if I can mirror.
Am I supposed to fill in time here?
No, we're fine.
Okay.
I'm doing it. We're going to see if it pops up here. I just wanted to share something. I shared something with Laquita earlier this week, just about.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, it did. All right, so then I can pull that in. You are number 6. All right. I sent this to Laquita, I think maybe yesterday or the day before, and it's not start today. It's not start tomorrow. It's not raise your prices in January. It's now. Like, now is a great time to do the thing, right? Whatever that thing is. This is start towards your degree.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
this is, and there's a great conversation taking place on one of our PPI Facebook pages. Carly was asking about a discount code for the CPP declaration. There isn't one.
Right.
Pay your money and declare for your CPP. But she is declaring and going for her CPP.
Yeah.
And then so many other people were like, oh, I've been thinking about doing that too. Start now.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say is start now. And whether it's going for your degree or your CPP or raising your prices or getting your images in front of people or printing your artwork,
Do it.
do it.
Yeah.
Right? All right, listen, what time are we at here? Boop, I'll go to the old way here. It's 3 minutes to noon.
So let's just. I'm going to go back to the Idaho Fellows.
Great.
We haven't, as an organization, we haven't done with anything with this on a serious note for a couple of years or maybe more. It doesn't really matter. We're trying to bring some oomph back into the program and actually get it, reestablish it and get it going again. These medallions or whatever have been around for a while. We got plenty of them. We might as well give them away, right?
I really want to honor photographers for their work.
Right, and this is on a state level, right? So, just like the national level for any of you guys that have been to imaging and have seen the ribbons and sorry about that. The ribbons and the medallions around their neck and stuff, and all those bars and all that stuff means.
We want to add to your bling.
Exactly, all that stuff means something on a national level. We want to do the same thing on a state level. So when you come to state convention, people.
This is a great program.
Yeah.
It's well defined. This isn't a mystery. You can go look at the documents.
And people can know when you show up at a state convention, hey, look, that person is the service award.
And you know what? It just feels damn good.
Yeah.
It feels good to be recognized for your effort.
Exactly. It validates your effort, just like Jim was saying. All right.
Yep.
That's all I wanted to say.
Really good stuff. Listen, I've got another slide here that we'll probably run the clock out with. Let me, I'm going to just hit the hide all button and bring this one up. Let's just leave it right here, right? Like we usually do.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back next week.
Are we?
Yeah.
Cool.
I am if you is.
Well, yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week.
We love to do these things, so I was excited about today. We haven't done this for a couple of months, and for good reasons. I mean, we both of us have been busy.
I did have Phil on recently.
Yeah, both of us have been busy, and listen, October, November, Dan Johnson, if you're out there, I owe you an apology. I was gone October and November.
You were hunting.
I was out of state, and where I go, there is no cell service, and I come back, basically clean all my gear up, and I throw it in my truck again, and gone. So October, November, and then of course December are extremely. October and November for me, very busy with my personal stuff. December, of course, because of the holidays. So I was excited to get back here today, and we hope that you guys appreciate listening to us carry on.
Well, I love having the conversation with everybody over here, and I'm excited that we're into the new year. We've got some new things that we're going to bring to you.
Yep. That's the other thing too. We've got plans for the new year, so it's going to be.
Well, it's just the opportunity every month to get together and have a theme or have time with your members and run your. Anyway, so many great things. I already talked about it. If you missed it at the beginning, we're doing monthly fun shoots.
But there's more coming up. So
there is more coming up.
Yeah, beware.
Tons more stuff coming up.
Not beware. Be ready.
Be ready. Be alert.
Yeah. And we want people to, we realize you got things to do, clients to shoot, all that stuff. There's no pressure doing this stuff. We just want to have those that can come. We want to have fun. First Friday lunches, put a thing on the Facebook and stuff yesterday.
We didn't do that today because we just did twin banquets this week with most of our members.
So we got that, but February, those are going to start back up again. We'll probably have we're kind of looking at different venues and stuff because we've been at the same one for a while. So anyway, more and more and more stuff coming for your dollars, which isn't much. So that would be a good segue.
Pueblo Lindo. Eagle and Ustick is what I have in mind.
That place.
And it's a big restaurant, so we can pull some tables. That's what I'm thinking for Febrero.
Yeah, that's a Mexican tacos or whatever.
Oh, everything's good over there. Big platter food.
It's good stuff.
Good stuff. All right, that's what let's just leave it right here. Folks, if you are not currently a member of PP of Idaho, we invite you to join us and come alongside your photographer community and come learn from master photographers and learn from new photographers and
or just connect with photographers, period. It's a community of photographers that are not afraid to share what they know. Listen, we've talked about it on this show a lot about Bob and I know pretty much the lighting pattern Bob uses for his headshots. I am not going to go out and open up a headshot thing. And even if I did, there's plenty of business in town. It's just like a wedding photographer.
Back to my 1% theory.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't shoot a senior photographer, for example. Let's say, what's a busy year? I don't know. 60 people? I have no idea. Let's just say 60 people. Well, there's thousands of seniors in the valley. So you aren't going to scratch the surface on 60 of them. So anyway, come and join us. We don't ask for, you don't have to be certified, but if you'd like to be, we can help you. We don't ask you to be a professional. If all you have is a cell phone, that's fine. We can help you with that. We don't care. So if you want to up your photography game, come and join us. If you just want to hang out,
up your game.
If you want to just hang out with some left-minded individuals like yourself, come on out. I'm pretty non-judgmental. I think you are too. Join us.
I just want to be with people.
Yeah.
Yep. Sharing what we know. All right, folks. That's it. That's a wrap for January.
ppofidaho.com. The join us button. It's $9.99 a month or $99 a year. Heck of a bargain. That also can be taken off your taxes, just to let you know that. And we'd love to have you. ppofidaho.com. Join us.
What he said.
Okay.
See you next week.
See ya. Bye.